Sp4zie commentary and plan.
Hello there YouTube, Sp4zie coming right at you with another commentary. It's finally time, it was long since I did one. If you guys recall, I did do a champion preview on the reworked Xerath from the PvE way back. And now, it's finally released, and god, I've been enjoying a crap out of the new Xerath. It is a champion for me, long range, hilarious ult that is almost global at max rank. I've just been enjoying him, so I thought we'd talk a little bit about him. Get yourself a drink, guys. I've got a cup of coffee. If you don't have a drink, pause the video right now and go and get one. It'll be way more enjoyable. First things first, I want to thank you for the great feedback on the latest video. If you haven't watched it, the annotation is on the bottom left there. LCS Champion Select, one of those subbed or dubbed or whatever you call them videos. When I do those videos, I spend so much time editing them to get them just right that I kind of lose the concept of if it's funny or not, if that makes any sense, because I've watched it over and over and over again, that the humor sort of disappears. So I'm always a little bit like, is this really funny? But as it turns out, that was enjoyed by most of you guys, and I really appreciate the feedback and the shares and everything for spreading the love, you know. Runes and masteries on Xerath. Because of its long range, I tend to rock a pretty aggressive rune page or a pretty squishy rune page with... I leave those blue magic resists that you usually get, and I get scaling AP because, man, the damages. And I feel rather safe in lane because you can be at very long range, as I said. Other than that, pretty standard, and then masteries I go at 2109. And yeah, in this lane I do play rather bad. I don't hit my skill shot as often as I'd like, and I don't mind her level, because she's gonna ding level 6 earlier than me here, and she's gonna go full on aggressive, and I'm gonna juke the skill shot start, but she hits the sun and follows up nicely with an ultimate, ignite, and another Q to finish me off. As you can see, I rock barrier, and that's sort of like a give and take on Xerath. Like, barrier is the way more useful summoner spell. Here's a little call that I want to discuss first. I see her recalling, and I am in range with my ult. I do manage to get her flash, and I managed to delay her return to lane, so I think that was worth. As it turns out, flash is a good thing to burn on mid laners. But yeah, it's a very give and take when it comes to Xerath, because your passive allows you to be super aggressive in lane. If you manage to hit your auto attack on a champion, you'll basically refill that freaking mana bar. It's insane. You can spam and spam and spam if you weave that passive correctly. However, it'll make you really vulnerable if you play aggressive, especially with this type of runes that I'm rocking. And I seldom rock Ignite for that very reason, because my aggressiveness is not going to be going for kills alone, it's going to be poking them out of the lane, and if I get a gank, setting up the jungler for easy kills. That's basically how I play it. And then the barrier is there to sort of fool the junglers when they come in and think they have an easy kill. And overall, it's way more useful late game on Xerath, because you're going to be on long range, and you really don't want to ignite the tanks that go for you. But leveling Q, obviously, then W for the massive damage. The W is crazy. It's probably the favorite ability because it just makes his kit really strong when you're able to apply that long range slow to follow up with the stun and the Q and everything. So let's just touch a little bit on the build as well. What I feel like you want to do, even though the passive is strong, you definitely want to go Athene's first item. I've tried several items, but Athene's definitely the best first pick on Xerath, because you want to be able to spam those spells as much as you can, because he is a bully and he is a poker, and you want to utilize that. Second item though, I mean, I've tried several things here. The 3 core items that I usually get afterwards, not counting the... Here I go for a little flash engage, but I end up missing 2 of my ultimates and not getting the kill. If I would have hit one of those, it would have been a kill. So 3 key items, not counting the Sork boots, is Void Staff, Rabadons, and Rylai's. I actually love Rylai's on Xerath. Now, in what order I get these is kind of depending on what I'm up against, how well I'm doing. I think in this game I actually go for Rylai's after Soak Boots and Athene's. But it's really, it comes down to what you're up against and how you're doing. Sometimes you got that 1600 gold for Needless, and then you want to get that. And sometimes you just feel like, you know, that Void Staff can really extend your burst on those champion resist heavy champions. So, what did I say? Champion magic resist heavy is what I meant. So Void Staff is actually not a bad pick after Sork Boots and Athenes. Here we do a very sloppy dive, and this ended up not being worth because Wukong kills me, I burn my summoners, and mid is going to get pushed out and the turret's going to go down, and Wukong is going to do a nice move here. It's very risky what he does, but he goes in and he goes ham, and he actually survives this, and it ends up buying him enough time to not let my allies finish this turret, which means that they actually come out ahead there. So pretty sloppy dive, we didn't wait for minions, and meh is what I'm gonna say there. Taking a sip of that coffee. As you probably have seen in this game, I do end up warding my mid lane. As you can see, Syndra's wondering, what are you doing? I'm warding my mid lane very often on Xerath because not only will it allow you to see where the enemy roams when they pushed out the lane, it is a strong ward just because of that, but you will be able to land those easy Qs way more often. And landing those Qs is key for being successful on Xerath. I didn't realize Activists was going for him here because he didn't call it out, but I end up hitting a blind Q and I follow up with ult. I missed 2 of them, and what was that? What was that Q? What are you doing? Managed to do some nice poke on Syndra there, but if I would have played that better, we could have gotten a kill. I also end up going for a flash kill here. This is something I want to encourage you all to do. When you get comfortable with Xerath, not failing obviously like I did, but when you get comfortable on Xerath, you want to try and go for those flash Qs. Because they can really set you up for some cool and easy kills, and they're really hard to dodge because people will expect you to be out of range, and you're not. So, for instance, what I usually do a lot, which gives me a lot of kills in mid, if I poke them down low enough, I can go for a flash Q, and then straight after that, I activate my ult and I just snipe them down afterwards. And they don't really expect that because it's a really quick combo, and they don't expect you to bring them that low in the first place, so sometimes they don't manage to react on the ultimate and they don't manage to juke it. So yeah, I encourage you to experiment with that, especially if you're playing like me right now, fun normals. Just experiment and try your limits. Here I'm going to do an awful ult, missing 2 of them if I see. No, actually I hit 2, but man, missed my E, missed everything. She flashed into my W though, which was funny. But they're face checking this dragon, and I don't really know why. I guess they want to ward on it, but yeah, bit of sloppy there. What do I end up going with? I think Rylai's is what I end up going with as second item after Sork Boots and things here. So yeah, it works. It's okay. It's a really fun item. You can really put the pressure in the lane. Setup wise, you want to try and consider the pokiness and the siegeness when you're playing with a Xerath. We have a Caitlyn on our team in this game, which is just perfect. Because what you'll end up doing on Xerath is trying to seek the sieges and seek the poke and try and get turrets. And Caitlyn just synergizes really well with that. Another game I played with a Caitlyn and a Nidalee support, which was just brutal because they had a decent lane and that Nidalee ended up doing a lot of damage. As you can see, I hit my 3 ult stacks on Vayne because I got the opportunity to do so. Wukong is going way too aggressive after I landed my combo on him, so I'm going to pick up the kill there with Q. We also mop up the Blitzpunk, and Flash on Syndra is going to get that kill as well. So yeah, the siege is definitely what you want to try and do, and then you can of course complement that with some good hard-on engage after that. Like there's a flash Q again, but it fails. But try it, guys. Like you want to try and go for those flash Qs. Try and do it. It's so rewarding, and when you master it, you'll be really happy that you took the time to experiment. But yeah, some good engage is what you want to do that to follow up and to sort of like dive them when they're low. Look at that damage, by the way. Taking a little sip of the coffee. And this is before I've got my Void Staff. And I wasn't really doing too well in lane. I was doing okay. So yeah, I don't know. Let's dive into that subject. Is Xerath in a good spot right now? In my opinion, he is more difficult to play versus skilled players than people give him the credit to. People just need to realize the strength of his ultimate right now. The fact that you cannot walk around on the map low HP, and you need to be ready to juke or have escapes if you are going to, you know, stay on the map. When people start to learn that, Xerath is he's not that OP that people sometimes say he is, in my opinion. Because as you've seen in this game, I've missed plenty of my ults. And that's actually the reason I chose this game. As you can see here, I'm gonna miss several of them because he does a good job juking. He uses barrier and flash, and I mean, it is difficult to hit that ultimate. It is harder than, and I even have Rylai's here. You can easily juke that ultimate if you play cool, play it chill, and once that ultimate is down, and you, well, Xerath can't really do much if you have that better engage. So what you want to do if you see Xerath picked is you want to try and counter it with great engage. A lot of CC and a lot of things that will allow him not to go for the poke that he's good and strongest in doing. So that's sort of like my mindset towards him right now. Now what I do think is that the passive might be a little bit too strong, in my honest opinion. The passive allows him so much pressure early on without building for it. And late game you can really just spam away. If you managed to hit an auto attack on a champion when you siege a turret, wow, you can just spam. As soon as your cooldowns are up, just go for it. And that's sort of something that might be tweaked. I mean, you might want to see that being a possibility when you have the blue, but maybe not when you just have enough thieves. I don't know, it feels really strong. Although going for auto attacks on champions is really risky. But here's what I mean. Syndra straps on the shroomy, and I just go for three hits with the ultimate, and that's a kill. Now, to me, that is just the element of surprise, and Syndra not being in the right mindset playing versus a Xerath. Again, she could have juked it, she could have been prepared for it, she could have realized that, oh shit, I'm low, I need to be ready to react now when Xerath ults, or I'm dead. So it is a little bit the element of surprise still, I think, because he's new and he's reworked. But yeah, tweaking that passive might be a good idea. Hard on engage on Syndra there, good job, friends. Taking a sip of that coffee. But I just can't get enough of Xerath, man. Dush. Jace actually saves Vayne there, but as it turns out, I'm able to punish him with my team and get the kill. So it's would've. I don't know, if you like long range APs, if you like an AP with a different type of playstyle, with like a combo that is not so standard as other APs, because he is very original with his kit right now. His ultimate is seldom very useful in a full-on engage in mid, because most champion has some sort of CC that they can break your channeling with, because it is a channel as well. It can be interrupted, which I've seen in several games, that people that are good and know Xerath, they'll interrupt me when I channel my ultimate. Yeah, again, you can't really counter Xerath, but if you like that, you should definitely try it out. I mean, look at this. I'm just able to zone out the squishies now with my ultimate and just win the fight that way, and it's just really, really strong. Actually, this fight turns out to be rather close because they do a good job kiting. I end up mopping up the blitz here. It's a little kill, and then Jace goes ham. By the way, Jace, long since we saw him, right? It's good to see some of those champions that just has fallen off lately to come back. Now, again, this is a fun normal, so I don't know. Syndra's gonna look for me here, which I love, because I have my Rylai's, I have everything. Xerath is, if he has a Rylai's, he's worse than a Singed, okay? You definitely don't, I flashed there for the kill, because YOLO. You definitely don't want to chase, and here's what I mean. Like, there's shrooms here as well, of course, but I mean, look at this. Douche, slows, douche, stun, douche, damage. I mean, you definitely don't want to chase a Xerath. It's a bad idea, and the only reason that this engage turns out favorably for them is because I suck and go a little bit too close to the Wukong and get knocked up, and then I derp my combo because I panic. But I should definitely have been able to pick up the double kill here. I popped my ultimate there as well, where I could have queued, which would have been way better. I would have gotten the kill. So yeah, again, ultimate kind of worthless. Worthless? How do you say that in English? Worthless, I think. Nailed it. Kind of useless in close-up quarter engages. You can't really utilize it at all then. And that's Xerath's weakness. Again, you want to go for full engage, you don't want to let him poke. And here's the strength though. Hitting 1Q for the slow, using 3 stacks of the ult, and Teemo follows up. And Acclimator laughs a little bit in the background because he thinks it looks hilarious. It's a little bit like Whack-A-Mole, but in League, and it's great fun. Syndra overextended here, I don't know what she's doing. But basically, that is going to be this game. We're going to push now, and we're going to have a couple of poke fights here in mid while we push down all the objectives. And I miss my old Durn Jace, but having a lot of fun. But again, definitely try him out. Definitely try and get a couple of games going to get into the right mindset of Xerath before you give him up, because he plays very differently than other AP mids, that's for sure. But anyways, guys, if you did enjoy this commentary, feel free to hit the little like button. You can add it to your favorites, and you can also share it on Facebook and Twitter. Link to all my social pages can be found in the description down below. Follow me there for the LOLs and updates on live streams and other cool stuffs. Stay awesome, friends, and stay tuned for 3 more videos next week. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed, and I'll see you next time. This has been Sp4zie and Planty, and we're both out.